Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Think of all that time. Every wait in the winter. All those hours no one else saw. Every sprint in the summer. Think of every sacrifice. Early mornings on the levee. Late nights in the film room. Bus rides to playoff games. Every bump in the road. Every moment of ecstasy. Every moment of doubt. Years wondering. Is it all worth it? It's all led to this. Man, I got this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time.
Seems like no nonsense guy. Like
re-emphasize that for the Saints fans out there on TikTok. Caveman, what did you just say?
The rebuild starts right now. Marshawn Lattimore's gone, so the defense, like we're not getting any better.
Looking to get it into Smith. What a pass! Not game! Cordell Smith with the game winner! Oh my goodness!
And that is why you have Aaron Fry pass the ball in. A career year. And like you have you have the best quarterback in the league, arguably, the best wide receiver in the league, and you've got the best edge rusher in terms of total sacks this season. And you're 4-7, and your playoff chances are hanging on by it. Let's make it interesting.
We're making it interesting. Come on. Give us the freaking home. We'll take it.
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Put him in there.
His back the elbow.
Who the heck is that guy?
Deflected good, help defense from the Warriors. Oh, what a pass! And Kuminga throws it down! This could be the pass of the year so far. You might watch every game the rest of the season in the NBA.
Mr. Announcer guy. So don't you go saying that you're never going to see that.
You're such a hater.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle on Military Broadcast Radio. HG Caveman in the house. What's going on this morning? We got action-packed weekend in NBA. UFL week 5, week 6 actually just passed us. NHL moves on to the second round of their playoffs, and we got some breaking news kind of coming from the NFL. Should we kind of cover this trade real quick?
Yeah, I mean, it broke this morning at like 5 a.m. So it's been clearly they've been working hard on it all night. George Pickens is going to Jerry World. The Cowboys have traded with the Pittsburgh Steelers for George Pickens. So Dak has another weapon down there in Dallas now, man.
And honestly, like you were saying before we started the show, Dak might be the first quarterback taken some of these leagues. If you're a Cowboys fan, are you going straight to pick Dak Prescott this season?
He might be a demon in fantasy this year. So, yeah, they hadn't really added anybody behind CD Lamb. It's our new follower sound. Yeah, they hadn't really added anyone behind CD Lamb. Paris Campbell, that guy doesn't do it. A couple of free agent running backs. Obviously beefing up their offensive line a little bit here in the draft. Hey, man,
Cowboys they had a good class.
They got to do a lot to, compete here with these Eagles and these Commanders. Giants are obviously probably feeling a little optimistic here too. And that was something one of my critiques I kind of had of Dallas's draft is that I thought they could have taken a running back. Not a running back, rather a receiver at some point, and they didn't. They drafted 2 running backs for some reason, which I wasn't super thrilled on. I was like, why not? You throw one of those picks on the wide receiver. Because I get drafting a running back because I'm not putting all my eggs in the Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams basket.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
You draft a back as well. You got 3 guys back there. It's somebody there for CD Lamb, but I guess they were probably working on this for a while. That might have influenced their decision. Kind of weird seeing a trade like this come after the draft, and it's like all these. Like if I'm the Steelers and I was gonna ship off George Pickens, I would have looked to get a deal done before the draft, acquire capital, and maybe use one of those picks to get his replacement. This is a head scratcher from the Steelers. The Cowboys, I think, won this trade. The highest pick that they give up was a 3rd. There's some swapping going on, some consumptory picks.
They really didn't lose much.
Ironed out, but I really feel like they didn't lose a whole lot for a really good wide receiver.
Good morning, sexy mofos.
Oh,
hey,
what's going on?
That's pretty sick right there, H. You got to hand it to him.
He's got all the sound effects going for that. So crazy. I mean, crazy good deal for Dallas. My only drawback from this I can see is that I know Pickens has been a bit of a diva, maybe not the best locker room guy, but with all the talent that they've accrued there, they've definitely got what it takes to be competitive, put up probably a solid, 10-7, 11-6 record, lose in the wild card round to the 49ers. So
that's Cowboys fashion right there.
The Cowboys tradition. And then I guess, let's just really cover this quickly on the Steelers side. Just a puzzling move with your quarterback situation, by no means figured out. No matter what you do, whether it's Will Howard, the rookie, Aaron Rodgers, or some other vet coming in, I just don't think you can expect high-end quarterback play. And having 2 guys like DK Metcalf and George Pickens, I think elevated the floor for whatever your quarterback position was going to be. And now you've significantly lowered that. And I just, I can't really, I can't really wrap my head around why they would do that. You got any extra thoughts on this one, Caveman?
The only really thought I could have is that they are just kind of really banking on the future and just trying to build what they can for later on. Yeah. It doesn't really seem like they're focused on this season at all.
Really doesn't. Maybe they do think that they're in a potential tank situation.
It doesn't look like they want to compete.
Yeah. I think they might finally be waving the towel. They're done going 10-7, going to the wild card and get knocked out.
And they honestly could do it again.
If that's your plan, Pickens is due for this was his last year in his rookie contract. I know that was a big focal point in this trade. So now you get him out of here. So even if you pay DK can go off whatever. You got him under contract. You just don't even got to worry about, George Pickens goes off, maybe helps you win too many games, and you're not in like the spot you want to be. Plus, you've got this decision of having to pay him looming. I think you take that out of the equation, and you're in a better spot there. So interesting to see. Yeah, this might be the Steelers are waving the yellow towel. They're taking that down and waving the white flag now.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it. You're getting rid of your guy. They also lost one of their running backs as well.
Yeah, Najee's gone, man.
Yeah, they lost Najee.
Welcome in, everyone.
That's just tough.
Well, from the pro to the spring league, UFL Week 6 is in the books. Not too many competitive matchups this week. There was definitely some huge blowouts. Your Panthers.
We only had one close game.
Memphis and Houston went down to the wire. We'll get to that. But first, man, we got a rough game to watch, especially if you're a Battlehawks fan on Friday. And we won this game
12-6.
I did not like watching Max Duggan play football. This was the offensive play calling doing everything to limit the damage this guy could do, while our defense carried 4 turnovers forced in this game, 5 sacks, 5.5 sacks really. So almost call it 6 basically.
Yeah.
Just a total domination by the defense. The total yardage for the Arlington wasn't really that bad either, but they just drives weren't getting finished. And this defense, especially coming up clutch, forcing a late fumble there in the game to seal it, was
they opened the game with a missed field goal.
Yeah, massive carry job by the defense. Some special teams breakdowns there by Arlington as well. Then get onto the board until the end of the third, very beginning of the fourth.
Yeah, this possession chart.
And then double forced fumbles on their next 2 possessions for the Battlehawks to seal it up.
Yeah, this possession chart's so ugly. The missed field goal, fumble, 3 punts, a pick, and then they finally get 2 field goals, and then it's just back-to-back fumbles in the last 8 minutes of the game, pretty much. That's just ugly right there.
Yeah, real ugly. Also, another masterclass performance by Sterling Hoffrichter, the punter of the St. Louis Battlehawks. This guy, 5 punts, 236 yards, an average of 47.2 with a long of 57. Did a great job in that battle, man.
And Blankenship, dude. Look at that. 2 for 2.
Yeah, he's been pretty locked down. So talk about Max Duggan, right? Guy played the entire game, goes 7 for 19 for 93 yards and a touchdown.
He didn't turn it over, but that percentage is disgusting. That is
49 yards on the ground. On the ground on 10 attempts. I don't know. Like this, they were really telling him to just make sure to not turn the ball over with how dominant the defense had been. Hakeem Butler, only 1 catch for 30 yards and a touchdown. This guy, get
him a quarterback.
A real quarterback back there. Butler probably has 7 catches, $150, 3 touchdowns, something like that. The amount of times I saw this guy just absolutely, he gets to step on the defender, or he's just, up the sideline, and DB's got no help. He's cooked. Butler's 6'6". He has an 83-inch wingspan, and Duggan is putting these balls in the only spot the defender can make a play on it. I mean, you got a guy with this much of a size disadvantage on a one-on-one matchup, and you can only get him 1 pass. He was getting, for him, if he's got a one-on-one in any DB, he's pretty much open.
And you're saying something that's right here. His one catch was a 30-yard touchdown. The only touchdown scored in the game. And it was in the second quarter.
Absolutely mossed. So, hey, I'll pump the brakes on the Duggan hate train, and give some props to some of the guys that made some huge plays. And this one, Peter
Duggan's getting carried.
Finally that guy coming alive in the pass rush, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and he ended up recovering the game-winning forced fumble as well. Mike Rose with 7 tackles. Same with
Build up the
Cole, Will Harvey. Guys are all over the field. All these TFLs as well. It was a real.
Thanks for the follow.
Another follow. Thank you for that. Yeah, really a great game out of them. They shut down Arlington's pretty good offense.
A team that has an amazing quarterback, though, HG.
Who's that?
That's the Michigan Panthers, man.
Yes, sir.
This freaking guy, man. Bryce Perkins. I could watch this dude play football all day long. The way this guy runs, this kind of way he carries himself on the field is like
he's got
just next to
swagger about
this guy's dope.
Dude, he was lowering the shoulder. He's throwing defenders off of him.
He does not care.
Yeah, he was pretty dominant. Only 13 of 18, 188, two touchdowns. Then on the ground, 9 carries, 76 yards in the touchdown. This guy was a force to be reckoned with. Toa Tua, 19 carries, 94 yards in the touchdown. This guy, he kind of came out of nowhere on the Panthers. I mean, the run game hadn't really taken off this season. They go
is that our guy?
The depth chart, man.
Is that our guy?
Third string, fourth string back, something like that.
You just got to take some dudes out the dog pound of your scheme and let them freaking go. Get them off the freaking.
Nate McCrary also with a solid 44 yards in the touchdown in this one, 213 on the ground, 3 touchdowns for the Panthers. Dog walked Michigan 38-14.
This is the game we needed after our 2 losses because we played. First it was the Stallions. We should have beat the Stallions. Then the game against St. Louis, that was much closer. That one could have went either way, but we still needed that. This is a big win right here. Get us back up in the rankings, at least like top 3.
You handed the Battle Hawks some good opportunities to win there because again, how we were able to score was it 32 with Max Duggan as our quarterback. Mind blowing.
Our defense locked back in.
They did.
We didn't need Samson Nacua out there slapping people. We needed Kai Nacua out there getting 4 tackles. It was really Frank Gindo's our carry. 11 tackles and the tackle for loss. I mean, we really weren't doing anything like in the past game. We got 6 pass breakups. That's all we really needed. No turnovers really forced. We were just sending them off the field.
And it was the
at MBRH or NIGHDMA or you have just reached level 2.
Nice. That's Rocket Raccoon.
Level 2.
We're up to level 2. Let's go, guys. What was huge? Ball control in the second half. You look at these drives: 9 plays, 63 yards, punch it in the end zone.
Oh yeah.
10 plays, 82 yards, punch it in the end zone. Late getting the ball with 10 minutes left in the fourth, going on a 9-play, 77-yard drive. Take a minute or 5 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock. Punch that ball in the end zone.
That's what we do. 9 plays in only 6 minutes, pretty much, is kind of crazy. That feels like it should have been a lot longer of a possession. But we drained out the last.
Yeah, they just held the ball and they just wore down this defense and they punched it in. They were super. They just finished drives. They were super consistent to start the game. That was probably the best drive of the day, and that really set the tone for what they were looking to do. 11 plays, 95 yards, 5 minutes and 48 seconds.
Impose our will
and a
early. I
touchdown.
like it.
Yeah. And the defenders, like, well, wrong DC team there. The defenders, had a quick strike there in the third, and they didn't answer that long drive with a long drive touchdown of their own. And besides, after that, clamped up pretty much. Besides that play where they hit a deep shot, got a touchdown there. You were just giving Frank Ginda his praise, right, for the 11 tackles. This guy was not a dude I had really on my radar for this Panthers defense, but I think week in and week out, he's just always been up there as a guy that gets to the ball, knows for the football, and
he's always up there in the leading tacklers. No interceptions, not the forced fumbles, but he's going to be there. He's going to be there.
Another hilarious stat line for Jordan Teamu. So, yeah, look, 259, 2 touchdowns, not bad. Bro is 19 to 36. I mean, this man he's just chucking the ball and hoping for the best. Like, he's not turning it over. Just wildly inaccurate sometimes.
I feel like he could be really, really good in this league, though, if they kind of can figure that out.
I mean, one of the
best, more accurate. I feel like he's Steven.
People in the league, but the intermediate to short passing is just an absolute cluster of like what you're gonna get. Because it's not like these are like all these completions aren't just like heavily contested throws or like deep shots you just weren't able to connect. It's just like missing like on like what should you feel like should be simple mechanical stuff.
Yeah, simple stuff.
And it didn't really cost them up until this point, but then you take away a non-existent rushing game and this one, and that really contributed to a lot of these short 3-and-out drives that they had there.
And that's how the Panthers burn you. That's how the Panthers burn you right there.
I said, like, we got a serious talk, though, is like 5'7" Chris Rowland, the best wide receiver in the UFL.
Dude.
This, like, I was like,
is he not? This guy's a demon, too.
That's consistently putting up, like, solid stats. He doesn't disappear, or, like, you don't. Every game, like, even if it, like, the stats aren't gaudy like they were this week, you can feel like he had a really big impact on the game, catching and running the football. This week, it was definitely catching the 9. He was most of their pass attack anyways, his 9 receptions, $144, and a touchdown. Got that long one, the 65-yarder.
He's a pretty good player, man. He's a pretty good player. For 5'7", you're like just completely blown out of the water by him.
One of the things I just like about the UFL is like we're getting some like fun stories like that. Like, dude, the 5'7", and you've got an argument that he's the best receiver in the UFL.
Like, why not? It just adds to the excitement of the spring league while we all wait for the NFL. It gives you something to watch.
Well, I say we'll save the best for last, and we'll skip over Memphis, Houston for right now, and just quickly give some notes on what was a trouncing here by the Birmingham Stallions. Safe to say, the Brahma season is effectively over. 1-5. You're so far out of it, and
it's too far gone.
There has been little to nothing to really feel confident about here. I don't. There's just not enough teams.
24 rushing yards. 24.
Abysmal, and they just got gashed, giving up 313. I mean, what? Wade Phillips, it might finally be time to hang up the headset, my guy. It's always
that's what I was wondering. I'm like, they must have fired Wade Phillips.
I got a special spot in my heart for Wade Phillips. The defensive coordinator during that Super Bowl 50 run, elite defensive coordinator. But was never really a great head coach in the NFL. Was the pretty good coach in the UFL, but this year's just been bad. The glaring thing to me that really jumped out in this game was 0 of 10 on third down. I mean, you could not convert a third down to save their life.
I think you had 24 rushing yards. There's no way you're getting a third down.
You're not getting any.
You're not picking up third and short.
Run game. You're behind the sticks. pretty much perpetually, and that's what it really felt like here. It looked promising.
5 punts in a row before they even got a field goal.
It looked promising. 7-play, 64-yard drive to open the game up. Get in the field goal range. You're like, we'll take that on the road. Good start. Shank it. And it just went all off the rails after that, really. Like you said, 5 straight punts. They got a field goal going in the half, so you can feel decent about that. And then
call us 720.619. 627. We want to hear from you.
You look at that opening drive. Besides that, their next longest drive in terms of plays was 5. Their field goal drive that they got just before halftime, couple of chunk plays, 3 of those got them 66 total yards, got them in the field goal range. And just after, like, they just
their next drive after that,
it looked like they put
4
so
yards
much into getting in the field goal range, and then missing that kick just demoralized the whole team, and it just spun out after that. Like on Birmingham's side, wasn't like they did anything mind blowing or crazy. Just a couple of really good long drives to punch in touchdowns. A couple 8-play drives, an 11-play drive. So just ball control. They had a couple of stinkers there though too. After their first touchdown, fumble, a few 3 and outs.
Yeah, they don't really look that good either. They just kind of played the worst team.
Like, they didn't have to do a whole lot to really beat the Brahmas, besides just control the football and
play a little defense.
Play a little defense.
It's as much as you really feel like playing.
Yeah, felt like Brahmas
just go out there and do whatever.
They just rolled over in this one. So
Panthers are still on. Stallions are still on fraud watch for me here.
I think so.
Their
biggest convincing win for me was that game against the Panthers. Where that
was the only good team they played so far.
And besides that, not a lot of their wins have been very convincing for me.
No.
But we're going to get to the best game of the week. This was a down to the wire game where the Showboats
1-20
playing pretty well, dropped it, and weren't quite able to come back in the fourth quarter. They were down 21-14. They got the touchdown. They weren't able to get the 1-point try though, and the game ended. Very unfortunate. And 1-5 here for the Showboats. Oh, actually, it was 2 field goals in the.
Yeah, they couldn't get far. They couldn't get close enough.
That's right. There's 2 field goals where they just crawled, like 2 long drives where it was a snail's crawl. Like 10 plays for both.
38 yards.
Yeah, go like a grand total of 63 yards, those 2 drives.
Yeah, and 20 plays in nearly 10 minutes of the second half. Jesus. I mean, they're not really playing all that bad, though.
Right.
For 1-5, you're better than the Brahmas.
Right. Memphis definitely showed some fight this year. It's just they could never really find a way to close it out. That was too bad. They like a team after week 1. I was feeling optimistic about them maybe shaking some things up, but again at 1-5, you just kind of have to feel season's about over. They want the Dresser win here in this one, and he's been a lot more consistent. That was the move. Yeah, he's been a lot more consistent the past 2 weeks over EJ Perry. Touchdown, interception, so not the best ball security.
Dresser win much better than EJ Perry.
Yeah, he's moving the ball at least. And yeah, again, the Roughnecks just capitalized. They did a good job capitalizing off of turnovers, taking advantage of short fields, things like that. And they just didn't commit any really costly turnovers that hurt their team. in the end. And they got outgained. They were worse on third down, had less time of possession, less total plays. They just didn't make the mistakes. They pretty much optimized what they did with the football. Is how I would put that. And it was enough to get them this win. They're 3-3, so they're hanging around in the hunt there for the playoffs. Obviously, the top two teams of each division get in and play each other before the winners of those two go play for the championship. We're going to give a quick standings update before we head to break here then.
Let's hit it.
Okay, man. So we'll start in the XFL conference. Super tight race here between the Defenders and Battlehawks teams, both 4-2.
I figured this will put St. Louis above after the Defenders lost, because wouldn't it be like a tiebreaker?
The Defenders do still hold the head-to-head.
Oh, okay.
Renegades were, they're still breathing down both of those teams next. They're at 3-3, so no
sleep on them.
I'd say, count the Brahmas out, but no telling who the other two teams that are going to come out of this conference are going to be. It's probably going to come down to the end of the season here. And you go to the USFL conference, same story. I'd say we could probably count the Showboats out, but you got Birmingham and Michigan both sitting at 4-2. But the Roughnecks were down but not out, and they kind of clawed their way back into the playoff race here after I was about ready to say they were dead in the water.
Yeah.
Rose after their rocky start to the season, but they've won a couple straight. Now they're 3-3 and really just a game out. So again, no telling who the other two teams are that are going to come out of this USFL conference.
I'm hoping it's the Panthers, though, man.
Yep. I do think right now, like you're looking at the 4-2 teams, I would still say are the favorites. The Renegades, I think, are a little more threatening than the
Roughnecks.
Renegades really have a lot more depth and firepower on that team.
I think so too.
Roughnecks, they got a lot of grit, a lot of heart, but sometimes the talent disparity can't be overcome. So
Houston on a 2-game streak. Let's see what the week 7 matchups are real quick as well. We got DC going to San Antonio.
So probably a free one there for the Defenders.
Michigan Panthers are headed to Arlington.
That'll be a very
solid game, actually. Houston has a big USFL conference matchup against Birmingham.
That's in
Alabama.
And Birmingham. So that could be some big shakeups if they could win there.
And St. Louis
a lot.
Has to play got kind of the crappy end of the stick on playing the teams that are 1-5. You got the better 1-5 team to go against this week in Memphis. Battlehawks are going to play the Showboats.
Will Manny Wilkins be good to go? I'm
fingers crossed, man.
Not really super sure on that. How are you going to be able to scheme around Max Duggan, or will he finally unlock something now he's got a couple of games under his belt and start playing a little bit better? I don't want to be I'm being hard on the guy, but it's, he hasn't really played any meaningful football since that 2021 now, that title run with TCU. Was that 2022?
21 or 22, I believe.
Yeah, when they took the Horned Frogs to the national championship, or great season before they got absolutely dog walked and mollywopped by Florida or by Georgia.
Yeah, that was ugly. They really couldn't do anything. It was just a completely outclassed team.
It happens in all sports. Some games are just don't go your way. You just don't play your best game. Fortunately, that happens in the postseason sometimes.
More often than not.
Yeah, it's part of sports. All right, that's going to do it for our first segment here. UFL recap. It's a super fun competitive league. We're enjoying it so far. Definitely check it out if you haven't. I recommend joining the Battlehawks Nation. Got some Lit fans over here. Panthers fans are pretty cool too, though. When we come back, gonna have a recap and our closing thoughts on round 1 of the NBA playoffs, and then we're gonna dive into these round 2 matchups here on Till the Final Whistle on Military Broadcast Radio.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle. HG and Caveman back in the house. Before we get into our NBA playoff coverage, Some more breaking news from the NFL. Jaguars are releasing Gabe Davis.
Oh,
Looking to
interesting.
part ways with them. And
Yeah.
maybe the Steelers go after,
Steelers, yeah.
get themselves
Well,
another receiver now.
Wide receiver. No
Would be a
disrespect
huge
to Gabe
massive
Davis.
downgrade.
He just never was the same after that 2022 divisional round matchup against Buffalo.
Very true.
Was it 2020? Yeah, that was 2022. Just was never the same after that, man.
Hello, Amber.
We'll see what goes for the
Gabe Davis goes. I don't know.
Jaguars.
Like, he's getting older up there. Like, you got like guys like Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper are still free agents. Nobody's signed them. It's like,
It'd be tough to find a spot. Maybe mid-season, honestly, if you really think about it.
Try to jump on and go ring.
Hey, H.
So,
or if anyone needs somebody, kind of like how the Saints had to sign MVS. Like if anyone just gets that down in the dumps and injury, like Gabe Davis will still be out there. Like somebody to sign will still be out there.
Maybe he can come in stat, prove he's still got some good hoops.
Yeah, he's still got some left in the cleats.
Sorry, talking about hoops because NBA playoffs are here.
It's time, man. It's time.
We're in the round 2. They've been fantastic. Last Monday, we had 2 incredible games. A buzzer beater by our Denver Nuggets. The Knicks overcoming a 20-point deficit to steal game 1 on the road.
They pretty much had a game winner too.
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges in the corner just knocking him down. It was not his game offensively in that one. We'll get to it later. But he was just abysmal offensively until that last shot.
The Knicks and just how they closed out this series here against the Pistons. This was the best series of the first round for the East, at least. Super good and just a real gritty, competitive series. The Knicks, obviously, the more experienced team, and I think that showed at some points here. And especially here in this closeout game, their whole bench unit, or their whole starting unit, their bench unit was non-existent, but their whole starting unit really clutched up. Brunson scored 40 points. You had 25 out of Bridges, 22 out of Anunoby. Anunoby's offense has, I think, it's really picked up the past couple games. Has been a bit of an X.
He's on it.
He brings a lot for you on the defensive side. He gets going as a scorer too. They've been tough to stop. They've been really tough to stop.
He already got a very good shot.
Yeah.
They give him opportunities just to isolate sometimes, and he can really score. He can fill it up.
That way he can. Cat only 10 points, but gets 15 boards. Josh Hart only 13 points, but he pulls down 10 boards as well. So those guys making an impact off the glass on the opposite other ways on the floor. Cat also picking up a couple of blocks. We're to OG with the 22, also 3 blocks. So just his two-way presence in this series has been such a huge help. Was a huge help for New York here. But let's I want to get your thoughts first here, partner, on the Pistons. What did you like that you saw from this team? Because first of all, we got to congratulate them. Incredible season. The turnaround from being the worst team in basketball record-wise.
Coming in the 6th seed.
Coming in the 6th seed, yeah. Not even just a play-in team, but like a bona fide playoff team that didn't have to even go through the tournament. And a tough team to 6 games.
It was a great season from them, and like a lot of their younger players, I feel like is kind of the reason that they did lose a few of their games. But it was just a lot of huge mistakes that they made late. Like to lose this one, he gave up the game-winning shot on a turnover on a pass that slips through Malik Beasley's hand. It's like before this game and after, he was calling himself best shooter in the world, that he should take that shot. It's like the end of the game there. You got to be the one to catch it.
Yeah, I got to catch the ball first. That was the killer. That was backbreaker.
And like
the Pistons.
Another thing as well Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
There's a lot of narrative that the refs, it was everybody versus the Pistons. But I feel like after like the first 2 games, it really was the officiating crew definitely allowed the Pistons to play pretty physical brand of basketball, and that's why they were in most of the games. That's why it even went to 6 in the first place, honestly.
I'll
Because
say
they were able to play their brand. Like, they play physical. Like, the refs let them bring physicality to, like, the entire game. So I feel like nobody was really getting screwed by the refs. It was just...
I don't think so. Aside from the foul call in Game 4, that was definitely a bad call there.
That was a bad call. I feel like from then on,
they got robbed there.
Leading up till then, I feel like they could have been up that series 3-2 before the Game 4 ending, because they lost Game 1 by choking a huge lead in the fourth quarter, and in Game 2, another one that they just let slip from them, where they had a kind of a lead late. It was back and forth game, and they just fell off last few minutes.
I'll say
salute to everyone.
Final thoughts here for the Pistons. I don't see them really needing to make a ton of changes. I think if you can just keep what you got,
thanks, Blade,
and if they can stay healthy, get some more, just get some more experience under them. That was, I think, what really cost them. Is just they lost some composure, and you could just tell who the inexperienced team was. New York's been doing that like ever since Brunson got here. They've been going to the playoffs, and like they've got finals aspirations. And it was like a team that was, they were happy they made it versus a team that was hungry for a championship.
Saw in Game 1 of that Boston series in round 2. They now lead 1-0. But what other series in the East? They all pretty much closed up handily.
They were all pretty much closed when we wrapped up the show last week. I say like the Heat.
TJ Blade, you have just reached level 2.
Nice, level 2. I'd say the Heat. I'd just be glad you made it to the postseason. I don't know if that's going to happen again for a while.
Seriously though,
that team looks like they're falling apart. Obviously, the Bucks. Question mark, like, is this kind of the end of the Giannis experiment and everything? Like, it seems like it's all kind of coming to an end there in Milwaukee. The Magic, I think we discussed, like, they just need the upgrades in the front court, give Paolo a little less ball handling responsibilities, and just let them do a little more running and slash into the hoop and using this athleticism.
A facilitator is really what the Orlando Magic are like craving right now. That's what their offseason should be focused on.
The Grizzlies had the kind of, we talked about that late season collapse.
Firing your coach for no reason. I mean, tell me about it.
Some more experienced players in there. Thought they were solid defensively. It's just, I don't know.
They could stay healthy.
Watching them play in the postseason, little unsure about how the Zach Edey experiment's going to go there. That I feel for them. And then Jaren Jackson Jr., great defensive player, but what he can bring to you offensively in the postseason, he was really good offensively in the regular season, but significant drop there. He just didn't want to. I still won't get over the game where he had 2 rebounds. That was,
yeah, that's insane, dude. How does that even happen?
Their elimination really showed they just needed a center. Was big in this one. I mean, Gobert closed them out by just like having a legacy game, 27 points, 24 boards. And like he was in there, like basically hitting dagger shots. And I don't even know who was out there on the floor. It was such a forgettable performance from the 5-man for the Lakers. I don't even remember who it was. Then you have the Rockets, which is the series went exactly how I was expecting. defensive, nitty gritty, but the Warriors just have a better offense
it wasn't what I wanted to see, though.
That's going to be able to overcome. Yeah. Rockets are another team where it's like they don't have to make too many changes, but I also think they might be the favorites right now for Giannis because I think they've got the depth, draft capital, and everything to go make a big splash move. And
that would help them build that front court offense that they were really missing. That half court offense,
bro. Like people were saying he's rich and still robbing people because he was pretty much a no-show.
He had the 38-point game, but the next three from there, I'm pretty sure he had 7, 9, and 11.
Game
points
7,
the next 3 games.
He was pretty much a no-show for how much he's getting paid. 8 points, 4 rebounds.
Yeah, 8 points in game 7.
This was the Amen Thompson game.
That should be the Rockets' focus, honestly. I feel like they shouldn't even get Giannis because you got a guy. It's not even really in his prime yet.
Take Giannis with that team, man.
I feel like that their focus, though, if they lose Amen Thompson in the offseason and not Jalen Green, I think they made a mistake, even if they get Giannis. I think
he's got a few more years on his rookie deal, so because he was just 2 years ago, so he's a high pick, so they might be all right there.
I think it should be Amen Thompson is who they bank their future on.
Dude, he was
his reads are better. He doesn't turn the ball over as sloppy. Like when he actually gets going, he gets going. Jalen Green feels just way too flashy, and he's got to get that.
Amen has just better mechanical skills. He doesn't rely on his athleticism as much. He's still athletic, but
he's just smarter.
He's also just very mechanical. Yeah, very smart with how he plays the game. I don't know, man. Like he looked like the best player, especially here in Game 7. But there were times where man, Thompson looks like the best player for the Rockets out there on the court.
He's doing better than Sengun.
Yeah, Sengun, I think, gave a pretty good performance.
He fought, though. He fought for him. Because when they really couldn't get anything going in that first game, who was really fighting for him? Sengun was the only one rallying for him in those first few matchups, honestly.
Yes.
Sengun and Amen Thompson. Because Fred VanVleet disappeared. I figured that would be the answer to them not having half-court offense because he's more of their veteran guard. But they're using him as like a 2.
Over him.
Yeah.
Potentially.
That could be the move to get Giannis.
Reed Shepherd could come in, fill that role. Don't forget about Reed Shepherd, man. That guy was dangerous.
He's solid, man. He's pretty solid.
Then the last of the round 1 matchups. Clippers kind of going out sad. They got whoops.
Nuggets did all that to win by 19. Come on. What the heck?
The bench unit got in there, and it was like, oh, crap. Are they going to go put on a run, bro? Kobe Brown got into the game for 8 minutes and had more points than Norman Powell, James Harden, Zubac, and Derek Jones Jr. and Nick Batum, bro. 8 minutes. So I was significantly less than all of those guys, and he scored more points.
We did all that.
All those
beat him by 19 in Game 7, though.
Yep.
Like, what happened to James Harden, too? Game 6. It's also an elimination game. He played amazing.
This is just who he is, bro. He is a guy like the Game 6 game, fluke, one off. It's a thing that doesn't happen too often. Every year, bro, people fall for the James Harden trap where they're like, oh, he looks really good again. Like he's not gonna burn us in the postseason. He's not gonna burn us and then he burns you in the postseason, man. I
can't pin the Game 7 on just him though.
He is
like you were saying, Zubac.
Yeah, I mean their whole team
they got outscored by a guy in 8 minutes.
They got tired. The Nuggets didn't. That's really what this I think boils down to. Kawhi, team leading 22. And that's nothing
Clippers
really
are not really that. Harden is gone next year.
I agree with that.
Probably.
The comment to that end. He's I mean, he might retire, might go play a washed season on a bad team somewhere. He just, even in his prime, he just wasn't that guy that could elevate you to championship level. Yeah, the Clippers put together, they were looking really good to close out the year, had a lot of things working, and it all just fell apart when they needed it the most.
Yeah, it was looking like they were going to win this series. Like they were kind of looking a little bit favored.
Kawhi Leonard, he had that one insane game, and then, I mean, that, like, compared to what he did in that game versus the rest of the series, very, very pedestrian. But
considering it was in game 2 also when he did that.
Jumping into round 2, where do we even start, partner?
I want to go to Timberwolves Warriors first, honestly.
All right.
Because, again,
I thought Thunderbolts might have been the most painful thing of the night I watched, and then I saw Anthony Edwards
in game 1 of the second round versus the Golden State Warriors.
Look,
9 of 22, still leading 23 points. But that's
better.
the reason you lose.
It got better, and he really stepped it up. Took him until like 4 minutes, I think was the time, like 4:13 left in the fourth before he finally made the jump shot. It was a big three, and then Buddy Hield hit the silencer, answered it on the other end back. Closing it out on the road in the second half without Steph Curry. Dude, what did Jimmy Butler unlock in this Warriors team defensively, though? Because they have just been like locking everybody down. The Rockets scored like 100+ points on them, twice?
Yeah.
Held them to, I think they held them under 100 three times. The Timberwolves only 88 here. It is.
I mean, they had 31 points in the first half. Like, the Warriors are playing some serious freaking defense, dude. Yeah, Minnesota scores 11 points in the freaking second quarter. They're getting smacked. And Buddy Hield, bro, he just freaking took Steph Curry's powers, bro, like it's Space Jam. Because their stats look like that should be the opposite of each other.
Like, Curry tweaked his knee, so obviously that's probably why his
production was lower.
Yeah, his stats fell a little flat, but
he only played 13 minutes.
Minnesota has been horrendous from three. I mean, it is. At what point do you, as Chris Finch, do you just start benching guys that are taking too many threes, because they're just chucking them at the rim and nothing's going in? And it's like, guys, get downhill to the basket.
Yeah,
this team has such great athletes, such great cutters, man. Like
Naz Reid, he made over half the threes. He made 3 out of 5.
Right, Warriors
total. Why is Naz Reid taking 7 threes in general?
Warriors aren't that big, man. Like get after him in the paint. Get inside. Like, make him try to use some size and athleticism around the rim. They just didn't want to do that at all.
If
5 of 29 in this one.
Played.
Think about the game against the Lakers. They ended up overcoming it, but they were like was 7 of 40 from 3. I was just like, what are we doing? Stop shooting threes. They just they can't seem to get out of that mindset.
17% in this game for them. And you think about it, like the biggest big man, Kevon Looney, is your biggest worry in the paint.
Yeah, maybe Quentin Post and his 6 minutes. Like, they didn't even need Quentin Post in this one.
Looney Tunes is your biggest worry in the post.
That was just goofy.
At step_Sarge when you have just reached level 2.
Thanks for sending in the gifts, donations. Reaching level 2.
Yeah, you guys are getting a ton of gifts. That's why.
A
ton of gifts.
Shout out everyone giving these gifts.
Thanks to Sergeant Step, DJ Blade, and Amber.
Thank you.
You guys are always the real ones.
They
Appreciate it.
really are. They're always here every week.
Got it.
Hey, Amber doesn't even know. I've been watching their show while I'm at work. I'll be playing some of the MBR shows in the kitchen sometimes. People don't even know, man. I'll be watching y'all shows. I'm just working in the back.
Without Curry, I don't think Golden State will have a hard time. Curry slightly pulled his hamstring.
Slight hamstring pull. That looks a lot better for the Warriors. Like you can come back from the hamstring pretty quick. You know?
Thank you for the rose spam, whoever that was.
That was a lot of roses. Who had beans?
Like, no Curry, no problem. Buddy Hield legacy series potentially coming up after his 33 in Game 7. Comes back with another 24. And this one, 5 of 8. And like I said, he hit like some silencers there late in the game where he wasn't even really taking.
I check out all the shows.
Oh, yeah. Great shows here on NBR. There's just we've got 8 new shows starting. Lot of love here on Military Broadcast Radio. Yeah, Warriors probably looking like they're on their way to the West Finals, man. Timberwolves they can match up with them pretty well defensively, but God, their offense disappears. Especially if they gotta play it in a half court. Oh, I mean, forget about it. They might average 88 this whole series. Like, it's bad. It's really bad.
My show is tonight.
All right,
that's Sergeant Staff letting you guys know that his show is tonight. So every time Sergeant Staff gives you guys a rose, it plays the fart sound. That's why I'm over
here. That was pretty funny.
Mid-sentence, we got about 10 farts in a row. Thank you, man, for all these roses. This is the most we got.
Dude, we're showering roses today. We couldn't be more thankful for it. Over to the Celtics Knicks. Incredible game. Absolutely incredible game here. New York steals one on the road here. And
just a game where nobody can shoot the basketball.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty bad shooting from both teams, I would say. I mean, New York was 45% from 3. That was a big difference. Miles ahead of Boston.
Boston taking 63s, dude.
Only making 15. I mean, that is their team identity. But, dude, like Tatum, man, can you just go to the basket? Like, you are just so much. You would just burn these defenders that they got on you. He just wants to keep taking step back threes. It's like, dude, like, stop. Just you're more athletic, you're faster, you're stronger.
At step_Sarge when you have just reached level 4.
Like, you're just bigger. You're just better than the guys that are defending you.
And
Stop trying to shoot threes.
This is right before I was about to say that he was one of the best players in this season's postseason. I was going to say he's having really good performances. Back to his old ways from last year. He was chucking up shots, and Jaylen Brown's got to save Boston.
4 of 15. Like, Brown, 1 of 10 from 3.
Yeah, he ain't doing much saving. He ain't doing much saving
there tonight, dude.
Derek White, guys are good points for free throws.
5 of 16. It just.
Don't forget the Pacers.
Oh, yeah.
At DJ Blade, you have just reached level 3.
Al Horford.
We're about to get to them next.
Freaking Al Horford plays 34 minutes. 2 for 6, 1 for 5. This is like prime freaking end of Wilson Chandler's career on the Nuggets, where he's playing the whole game, going 1 for 8 in the playoffs and just being a body out there.
Bro,
I can't disrespect Horford too much, but
Boston's big problem.
Keep up the good work, fellas.
Thank you. We appreciate all the donations this morning.
Big problem. They got up by a lot, and then they just turned it into a 3-point contest. They got lazy. They got sloppy. And New York is a team that's going to capitalize on those mistakes.
At step_Sarge when you have just reached level 6.
Josh Hart, again, double-digit rebounds and double-digit scoring, 14 for both of those, 13 for boards for Cat, 11 for Hart. Brunson, I mean, he's going to find ways to score. And here's OG Anunoby again, man. 29 points.
The only efficient scorer.
See
other
you
than
guys
Cat was
soon.
solid. Cat was good.
Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Boston could be in some trouble. They got what they really got to do is just tighten up, right? Like don't quit trying to be cute and
go 20. Don't take 23s and miss over half of them. Like that's just getting sloppy. You just won the
really
championship.
They opened too many doors for the Knicks to come back into this game. New York's going to take that every time. And now, I mean, you put yourself in a dangerous situation. Do I still think Boston can take this in like 6 games? Probably. That's what I would put my money on. But that's a sneaky Knicks team, man.
Yeah, like if you're Boston, this just delays the series.
I don't like that you gave them this win. I really don't.
Because this was a huge one for everybody, really, for like a bad shooting night for like Mikal Bridges. Still played 51 minutes, and he was in this game simply because he's locking people down in that second half. Got 3 steals and 2 blocks, and pretty much the game-winning steal, just hawking the ball down on that inbound play, ripping it from Tatum after he hit that huge clutch 3. I mean,
thank you for bringing
this. Is somebody that stayed in the game, dude.
Yeah,
he just stayed in it. 51 minutes. He couldn't score at all. He's like, I'm going to do everything else I can. That's going to benefit us.
Dude. Iron Man player right there.
He was on one.
All right. Now, dude, we're going to go talk about who I think is the scariest team in the East. That's the Indiana Pacers.
Oh, no.
This team is on a tear. And, like, you know why I think they're so scary? They are so deep. And it's just like, you kind of just have to pray that the whole team plays bad.
Yeah.
You can have one guy off the bench playing bad, a couple bench guys playing bad, a few starters playing bad, but they have just so much depth, so many guys that can step up and answer the call that you have to pretty much, like, your team's got to play their best basketball. Their offense is, they're just good enough defensively to, make it tough on you. And then offensively, there's such a free form style to their.
It really looks like there is no offense at all.
It looks like their plan is that there is no plan. Obviously, there is some plan. They've got plays. They do got some plays, some motions, things they like to run. But I like it. It's the closest thing to street ball we got on the NBA court, and it's just like teams just can't really stop it. I mean, they're like good for like almost 120 a night. Yeah,
so you'll close your eyes and they go on a 20-point run on you.
Like, it doesn't matter, how much your superstar is going off. Giannis in that last series against them had like an all-timer series. He averaged like 36, 27 in that series, like just godly numbers, and they took care of them in 5. And they'll do that. They'll just, sure, one guy can beat us because we're going to have 8 guys beat you.
Yep. They really are probably the deepest team in this. I mean, just based on how consistent they play, they look like they have the most depth right now.
NBA teams, I thought Tyrese Halliburton was underrated or overrated. What?
Yeah, I thought he was the most overrate that, I guess, dude.
22 points in game 1, 13 assists. He was the leading scorer from there. But then it's just like the whole starting unit was great. You had 23 out of Nembhard. So actually, he was the leading scorer. But 17 out of Nesmith and Siakam, while also putting up 8 rebounds from both of those guys. Miles Turner, 13 points, 11 boards, 3 steals, 2 blocks. The defense and all, like the two-way potential of Miles Turner is just scary. The bench unit, Benedict Mathurin has been a dog off the bench. TJ McConnell gives you very efficient minutes off of there, even though he didn't do anything too crazy in this one. Obi Toppin, his athleticism and playmaking ability give you a lot of versatility off the bench there. Excuse me. And then you go.
Thank you, everybody, for the gifts. We really appreciate it. We use it to buy Snickers.
Yeah, keep us well fed and with
keep us
snacks.
fed in the studio.
Gifts come in clutch. The Cavs side, then they got banged up in this one too after dropping it. Thought Mobley was pretty good. I don't think he didn't have a real huge impact on the defensive end. And again, that's just like the ability for the Pacers to kind of like move him out of the play and not they did a good job of that, just like getting him away from where they're going. And just
then he sprained his ankle in game 1 anyways, so you miss him in game 2. Garland's missed back-to-back.
Mitchell
and Hunter was out game 2.
Again, like this is something you can't do. Like I get you're getting the points, but the unethical shot chucking, bro. 13 of 30, 1 of 11 from the 3. Like if that's the efficiency you're going to give me to get 33, like I would just rather you do anything else.
Even in game 2, he dropped 48 on him, but 15 of 30 and was 1 for 7 from 3.
Yeah, another struggle bus situation there. Yeah, his
they
3
had more of
balls
a team performance here in game 2, though. Like Jared Allen went off for 22.
Strus gave him 23. Yeah, no DeAndre Hunter, no Darius Garland. He hasn't been good to go in this one. Evan Mobley was out in this game.
And I don't know why the hell they're not just playing Tristan Thompson at this point.
Yeah.
Just to like throw a guy into the lineup that has some playoff experience.
Like horrible decision making and like blew this game in the final minute.
Yeah.
Like dumb passes that led to turnovers, bad shot attempts, just not like giving up an easy baskets, all that stuff. And then, yeah, Halliburton hits the step back 3 on you to close out the night. And you get like going in with a pretty good lead and then getting outscored 36-21 in the 4th. Letting Indiana just come back in there. That's what makes these Pacers so dangerous. You open the door for them and like you can be up by a lot, and just like that, they have tied this game back up. Oh, they're looking to take the lead. And it's the depth, man. Like all of the starters again in double-digit scoring, but then Mathurin giving you 19 off the bench. Hallie didn't even have to do too much this game. 19 points, still had 9 boards. So it was Nembhard making all the playmaking in this game. 13 points, 13 boards, bro.
Like look at the rebounding from all the starters too. Neesmith 4.
Each guy's grabbing up
6,
4 or more boards.
Like
right.
Miles Turner 8. Your leading rebounder is usually someone you think would have the most assists. No, Nembhard's got it tonight. He'll lead us in assists. I'll get the boards.
Turner and Neesmith.
Miles Turner and Neesmith are going to fill it up offensively.
And
defensively.
You see
Nembhard
between those two dudes.
Around. Yeah, Miles, 3 and 5.
Miles Turner 23, 8, 5 blocks there. And a steal for both of those guys as well. Neesmith also 23 points, his 4 rebounds, 3 blocks there. I mean, they got guys that are doing it at a high level, that are stepping up and answering the call. Right now, this is looking like the best, most cohesive and in sync starting 5 that we've got left in the playoffs.
I'm checking their regular season schedule right here, because this was a team at the beginning of the year. Everybody was like, man, what's going on with the Pacers? They weren't really in the mix. They weren't really in the conversation.
They were
honestly, they were slept on. They were slept on this year.
Going into the postseason, because I just don't think the regular season expectations that I had for them, they didn't really match those. And I didn't give them the respect that they deserve for that, because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing why Boston was
talking. They didn't lose more than 3 games in a row the whole year. Besides one stretch in November, they lost 4 games in a row. Like before that stretch in November or after, they didn't lose any more than 3 games. And they got like 2 or 3 like 5-game streaks in here, home and on the road. So I mean, honestly, like they kind of got slept on.
Why Boston fans were talking had horror stories about the Pacers from last year's playoffs. I'm like, that was a team they swept, super competitive sweep, but they swept them. But they were like, yeah, like they're just talking like they're absolutely horrified. So Farron Doge, appreciate you tuning in. Indiana, you're from Indiana, right, Farron? Pacers, man.
They're looking good, dude.
Welcome to the East Finals. I really think they can make the finals.
Honestly, yeah. It doesn't feel like an underdog.
Something's awakening in that team, and it's a scary team. I don't want to see at all. But hey, another team that looks like there's something awakening in them that I don't want to see at all.
They woke up the
basketball Nuggets.
The beast. That's what the fuck they woke up.
Jokic, he said it best. The beast is always most dangerous when it feels vulnerable.
We got a couple clips, HG. The first one is just disrespectful. The first clip, H Train actually sent this one in, coming from the news reporter Kyle Clark, talking about Larimer Square and how they're just disrespecting the Nuggets. So let's watch this first clip right here.
Of all the Coloradans who were furiously flipping between the Avs and Nuggets simultaneous Game 7s on Saturday, you know who was the most nervous? The dude who has to hang up the flags at Larimer Square, because that famously photographed street went all in on the Avs. Nothing but Avs flags down there. No Nuggets flags in sight. Then the Nuggets won and the Avs lost, so now that Larimer Square flag guy's left flapping in the wind. We flew over Larimer Square today. Switchover hasn't happened yet. We reached out to ask why Larimer Square went all Avs, no Nuggets, and whether the Nuggets would get some love now that the Avs season is on ice. Larimer Square told us no. But they told us no very politely in one of those overly peppy-sounding PR statements. Can we get some of the press release reading music, please? Here it goes. Quote, as of Tuesday, Larimer Square will once again be festooned with Colorado state flags as downtown Denver's most historic block gears up for the busy summer season. Wow, no festooning for the Nuggets. They're our last shot for the postseason in this calendar year because the Rockies, and they can't even get a good old festooning from Larimer Square. That's rough, guys, but we're with you, Nuggets. You are forever festooned in our hearts.
It's just kind of messed up.
Yeah.
It's just kind of messed up. Because we have more reasons. We have more reasons why they should be festooned after Game 1 against the Thunder. And that's another clip that we should check out. Because me and a bunch of random people at this bar on Monday night, which is one of my days off. That's why I was out on a Monday night. Don't think I'm getting too crazy. I just got a weird work schedule. But hey, let's check it out because we were festooning the damn
We all
Nuggets.
don't do that Monday through Friday. This is my Sunday today, bro.
Exactly. We got everyone's kind of mixed up where their schedule is now. You can't ever get locked. You can't ever give Monday to Friday anymore. But let's check this out because we festooned the Nuggets for this game winner from Aaron Gordon. Yet another in this playoffs.
They're down by one. Gordon. Aaron Gordon with a deep shot. Let's go. Williams three-quarter pop. No good. The Nuggets steal game 1. That's a
Dude,
Beautiful.
Aaron Gordon, man.
Beautiful.
What a story he's been this year, bro. The two playoff game winners, wearing the number 32 on his brother that he lost, and like just hearing everything he's been doing for his brother's, his widowed wife and their 3
He's
kids.
a good dude. He's a really good dude.
He's just been stepping up.
Freaking great story, that guy.
Uncle of the year. And yeah, like he's getting them moved out here so that they can, live closer to him and he can help out more. And like his time off, like he's, that hasn't been him like vacation and resting and relaxing. It has been, traveling out to go and, be with his sister-in-law and take care of his nephews. So incredible story. And then his post-game interview, man, he's giving all the credit to Christian Brown and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
He's a humble king as well.
He's like, Russ, all game, whenever he's got the ball in his hands, he likes to make the right play. And he found me. He said he's just hooping. I like that.
The shooting jump from him from 3 and at the line.
Exploded. This guy is on a whole nother level. We're talking about playoff Murray, bro. We're talking about playoff Aaron Gordon.
I used to like close my eyes and cross my fingers, just pray that shot last season. Now this year, I'm like, oh, AG's open. Like that's cash, bro. And it's been cash for the most part this year. 22 points from AG, 14 boards. Jokic with just an unreal stat line of 42 points, 22 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 block shots, 1 steal, 60% true shooting.
Chet and Hartenstein, they got their hands full in this series. They got their hands full with Jokic, man. It's like I was saying, we woke up the beast. They just woke up the beast. He's pretty much the head coach at this point. We've come to it. Edelman's there. Edelman calls plays, obviously. Freaking Jokic is the head coach of this team.
He's like shoving himself back in the games. Like you'll see him like get up off the bench and they're like where are you going? He's like, I got to get back in the game.
It's like we're gonna lose if I'm not on the floor.
Just let him get back in the game. Yeah, dude, Caruso, poor guy, man, no help. Fantastic game out of him, dude. 20 points, 6 assists, 5 steals, all over the court on defense. He had 2 block shots as well. Like, all right, dude, rip Alex Caruso. I felt bad, bro. Wasn't getting a ton of help.
Him and Lou Dort were real efficient.
And
Lou Dort scared me the most from 3, bro. Because it felt like they were making whatever they wanted. Yeah. It was really just Caruso and Lou Dort were filling it up from 3.
Dude, Shea with an incredibly unethical 33, 12 of 26, 2 of 6 from 3. Again, just a lot of shot checking. He did have 10 points in this one as well. And then shout out Chet Holmgren. He was the Nuggets' real MVP of this game, breaking both free throws.
And missing that dunk.
Yeah.
A wide open fast break dunk. And he's over 7 feet tall.
He got posterized by Aaron Gordon earlier where he like kind of just threw it in. And then
Dwight Howard dunked it on him.
Yeah, he missed the 2 free throws to let Aaron Gordon hit the game-winning 3 over him. He was on the contest for that shot, and AG hit it over him.
Chet, you the real MVP, Chet. Not Shea.
Shout out Mark Bagnall for fouling Aaron Gordon immediately after the inbound when we gave up that easy dunk for Shea with 10 seconds left, and Jokic was off the floor. Like, really appreciate them putting AG at the line. He's clutch. He hit his 2 free throws. We got Jokic
back on the floor.
Back in the game. And then they say Jokic's defense sucks, but like the smart play there of him just taking Shea completely out of the question with the inbound, forcing it to go to a guy like Chet, who isn't a bad free throw shooter, but the moment was too big for him. The lights
not as clutch. Not as clutch. And bad defense from Jokic accounted for a steal and 2 blocks on Monday night's game.
Right. Thought Peyton Watson didn't do a ton of scoring, but he had some pretty big defensive plays, a couple of huge block shots.
He had big minutes.
Russ was great off the bench with 18 points. Christian Brown, I thought he shot 50% from the field, hit a 3 for us, 11 points, 13 rebounds, dude. Just making some hustle plays out there, getting those boards as a guard, dude, is just huge for us. Right now, man, when this Nuggets team is on, they look tough to stop. I think a guy who might play a bit of an X factor, maybe in the series. I'm a little interested just to see Julian Strawther maybe get.
He had 6 minutes. He had 6 minutes in this one.
8 to 10 minutes a game.
I feel like he could have some type of impact too. I'm not gonna lie.
I'd say he was -10 in the plus minus, and there's a lot that goes into calculating that. But I he hit the one shot he took, he hit, and I think he just,
he probably got scored on.
Yeah.
And he also had the one turnover.
That's true. But I think he opened some things up, just, potentially being a threat to shoot, and got the offense a little bit
big too.
Yeah.
He's not the smallest guy.
I'm kind of interested to see if he can just give us a little more offense off the bench, because that's like Russell Westbrook's really the only dude that's scoring for us off the bench. Like Pete Watt's given us some great defensive minutes, but I mean, we're really only 7 guys deep, and Watson's still not getting a ton of minutes, which is, a little worrisome. And Porter he's just been real hit or miss with that shoulder. It almost looks like he got like his medication mixed up, because like you heard Stokely was saying like, yo, he kind of looked like me that one time I got my my Oxy and Ambien mixed up and took my Ambien before practice. I don't know, but that's not the most unbelievable thing I've heard on the theory of what was happening, because I thought he was really good against the Clippers in Game 7, hit some big time threes, but then he was just way off. And this one, I guess he blocked the shot there, but wasn't really getting a lot of boards, making a huge defensive impact. Adelman, or more likely probably Jokic, made the right call, pulling him there.
But I mean, it was for the better, because the Nuggets got the win in Game 1, and I think it's one that we really needed. This OKC Game 2 still 10.5 points favorite on us, and going into the Game 1, they were also 10.5 point favorites. Coming out of halftime, though, they went up to almost 13 point differential.
I mean, it looked like it was on track to get ugly there in the second half. There was a bad finish to the end of the half for the Nuggets.
The way we rallied back, that was insane.
Right. And that was a huge thing in this game, is just this team, the poise and experience from a lot of these guys showed. Westbrook's a vet that's been doing this a while. Christian Braun's been getting meaningful minutes. He was, from our finals run to last year's playoffs. Murray, Gordon, Jokic, obviously, Peyton Watson. He seems a little more, the moment's a little less on him, because even though he didn't play a ton during the finals run, he was there and he got to experience that. Whereas, these Thunder players, a lot of these guys, this is just their second ever playoff run. And they did get a little bit of a cakewalk in the first round, I'm not going to lie. Memphis had a lot of issues and things that they just were able to exploit and be better at.
I'm having a good time watching this series so far. Got Game 2 tonight. I mean, if we could steal another game in OKC,
my waiting for them, bro. I got
tough.
To give my predictions for the rest of these series. I got the Nugs in 6. I've got the Warriors in 6. I've got the Celtics in 7, actually. I got the Pacers in 5. Cleveland's too good to get swept, I feel. But I think we're going to see.
I like that prediction.
I might actually say Warriors in 7 here. No, Warriors in 6. And I'm still going with the Celtics, but I think New York's got a lot of momentum where they'll take them to 7. What about you, partner? You got your predictions about the same as mine? Anything you would switch up there?
I feel like Nuggets. I want the Nuggets to win in 6. That would be my best prediction. But I also feel like the Thunder have a chance to come back in this series and take us in 6. I feel like it could go either way.
Yeah, we'll see what some of our role players, show up, how they show up, because that's we got 2 really great games in a row out of a lot of our role guys, but we've also seen them.
They got to continue
fall off and have bad playoff series, especially last year against the T-Wolves.
No, this one I want to say I want to say Minnesota in 7, but I got to go with freaking. I'm going Warriors in 6. I think they're on too much of a heater. And I kind of want the Western Conference Finals to be Warriors Nuggets, so Jimmy Butler can once again let Joker bust his ass and have us move on to the next round.
If the Nuggets get the Warriors next
it's over. Because there's no way we're not going to use it.
There's nobody to stop Jokic like Kevon Looney, Quinn Post. Come on.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Like the T-Wolves, they at least they have that rotation. They still got like something that they can throw at us like that with
a mix of
Gobert,
guys.
Reed, and Randall. He's not exactly Cap, but he's big enough to get the job done where they can just throw a lot of bodies on Jokic, a lot of big bodies.
That's why I want the Warriors to win. I would hope that the Timberwolves can take them though. Knicks, Celtics. Honestly, I'm going Celtics in 7. I agree with you there. I feel like the Knicks are going to keep themselves. I feel like a lot of their endings are going to be like this game 1, where it's going to be just a close battle all the way. One of the newest rivalries that we got built out, because the East is just improving. Teams are getting deeper. It's harder to get through. It's
like the top 4 teams are all very. And the top 4 teams, I think, of the East came out into the second round. They're all very good. It is. I still think it's a pretty significant drop off after these 4, though.
Oh yeah. Like after honestly, after the Pistons, there's a huge drop off. But
Pistons are good. Bucks are kind of falling off, but the Pistons are on their way up. The Magic are right. Like huge changes and tweaks, they could be right there for sure.
Defensively, I think they're there. They held Boston to some pretty low scoring games.
They have the second best defense in the league this year, only behind Oklahoma City.
Yeah, they're good, and they got it.
They're on locks, man. They just gotta unlock some more on offense, and I think it just involves freeing up Paolo from ball handler responsibilities. I think you just better front court.
Yeah.
That's all I'll leave it at. We've been going for
Pacers. I want to say Cavs in 7, but I'm just going to take the high road here. Pacers in 5.
All right.
Pacers in 5.
We're going to do another quick break. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to have the NHL Round 2 breakdown as it's all kicking off underway. Our Avs are out of it, but we still got some great hockey. We had a double overtime thriller to end round 1 between the Blues and I'm blanking on the team, but Winnipeg.
The Jets.
The Jets. And we're on to round 2. A lot of good matchups there. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Till the Final Whistle here on Military Broadcast Radio.
On the front lines we stand side by side, with courage and strength that we won't let slide. Through the chaos, our hearts beat as one. Each brother's a soldier, into battle we run. When the shots ring out, we won't back down. In the silence of loss, we'll wear our crown. We are soldiers, brothers in arms. Through fire and fury, we weather the storms. In unity, forged through the blood that we shed. Together we stand, living for the dead. Each step we take through the mud and the pain, memories linger like the echoes of rain. We fight for the fallen, our spirit won't break. In honor we carry their names in our wake. Though the cost is high, our bonds grow tight. In the darkest of ours will shine our light. We are soldiers, brothers in arms. Through fire and fury we weather the storms. In unity forged through the blood that we've shed. Together we stand, living for the day. With every heartbeat we carry their name. In the brotherhood forged we'll never be the same.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle on Military Broadcast Radio. The boys are finally back for the final 125 of the show. Sorry to break it to you though, Kyle. We are talking hockey right now.
Yeah, no, we'll rip the Band-Aid off here. We'll get out of the way before we go out.
In the foot.
They did. They really did. I think they could have won this series in 5.
We let it slip. We went on a really big run here. Freaking taking game 1. Game 2 OT loss was rough. Game 3, we kept everything so close.
Right. Game 5 was, I mean, honestly, this could have been a sweep. Game 5 was just about the only game where the Stars played better than the Avs for pretty much the whole
game.
Like every single one of these games, the Avs looked like the better team until like that final half of the third period, and they would, or into overtime, and it just start slipping away. I don't think they were pretty bad on a lot of their power plays in this series.
That's where we really lost it.
Right.
And those opportunities.
Game 7, holding a pretty solid lead where the defense was, keeping the puck on Dallas' side of the ice. 2 solid goals. It looked like, we're going to have to win this, on like the nitty-gritty defense and just not let anything up. And then 4 goals in the third.
To wrap it up, though,
one coming
Mikko Rantanen that gets a hat trick in Game 7 to knock out the Avs. Come on.
Salt in the wound there, too, right? Like, that would, of course, be how this series would end.
3 for 24 on the power play, dude. We really could have swept this team.
Like, you go and look back at it, that they should have had it, like, Game 1 dominated, Game 2 choked out away into the into OT. Game 3, same thing. They were leading the whole time until that last overtime shot. Game 4, shut them out. And then Game 5, only game where we didn't look good, where Dallas played better than us. Because you come back Game 7 or Game 6, big win there, and then Game 7, holding the lead for so long, and then those last few goals just come in like the final 3 minutes. First go up, and then on the end we let Mikko get away towards the empty net. It was brutal. I should have swept and should have been waiting for over a week to play Winnipeg. But it is
honestly, we should have had all the time off in the world
not over till that final whistle plays, and Dallas, credit to them, never quit in any of these games. They always kept fighting, battling back, were able to really come back and steal 2 games that should have been losses for them. That's why they're moving on.
And speaking of Winnipeg, though, a series that really confused me that it went to 7 games here. St. Louis came out of nowhere, dude, bringing this one to 7 games.
Right.
Made it a series.
Tightened it up there at the end there and closed the door. Cole Perfetti with the 2 goals here for the Jets. And this one, Nemestrovkov and Lowry also adding some goals there. Hellebuck was great in his goal spot. Didn't have to go away from him. He had a rough couple stretches. Games 3 through 6 weren't exactly his best work all season, but he really clutched up here. And Winnipeg just wanted it more. They just shot a barrage.
47 shots,
Jordan Binnington,
73 hits, and it's a clean game of only 2 penalty minutes.
Yeah.
With all that action and intensity, man. They
fought to the very bitter end. It's unfortunate that they ran into Winnipeg. They probably would have, if they didn't end up coming in as like one of those wild card teams, they probably could have beaten somebody else. Winnipeg's a really good deep team. Unfortunate for them, really.
Yeah, they ran into the hardest matchup, one of the hardest matchups on this Western Conference.
Definitely a team that a lot of people got as a favorite to at least make it to the Cup here as well. And the Wild, their little insanity run, the Knights tightened it up and nipped that shit in the bud there. Games.
Yeah. Ended the 2-game streak and just beat them.
Games
3
5
games in a row.
Locked it back in 4, 5, and 6, really. So
It showed who the better team was here, really. Like Minnesota, though, don't sleep on them in the West here in this coming future. If they keep their guys, like their young players are real aggressive, and they like to be on the point of attack. Honestly, like they really could get and improve pretty well. They were in the playoff mix all year in the West. They played the Avs tough a lot and really kind of kept us on our toes.
Could not agree with you more on this point, Kyle. Do not like this hockey seeding at all. It's
Seriously though.
I think it doesn't really like. Sometimes you're just punished for, for still being a good team. Like I don't know. You just not a lot of it's not very rewarding for the 2 and 3 seeds that they got to play each other round 1, and you want to. I want those matchups to occur deeper into the playoffs, because I think that's an issue you can just run into is you get your good matchups, your real close ones happen in round 2, and then you can get some round 1, and you can get some real lopsided ones in round 2 or even in the finals, the conference finals.
Yeah. Like at least maybe give us a second round Avs Stars matchup. That's a little bit better.
Because like them dividing it out by like conferences and everything. I think it's just top 8 teams, break it out. So then we would have probably been looking at like Winnipeg, Minnesota. That would have probably put the Avs playing. Would that have been Knights?
Probably the Knights. No. We would probably be playing the Oilers,
which still would have been a really great round 1 matchup. Speaking of the Oilers, was this the 4th straight year they've eliminated the Kings from the playoffs?
Just when you think the Kings are having like a solid season, like they put something together, they just run into the Oilers in the first round.
Talk about getting owned by a team, man. And look at this series, just the way this went. Kings, 2 big wins to start out the series at home. Feeling good, up 2-0. This year might be different. 12 goals between those 2 games. Bam, drop 4 straight. I mean, that almost feels worse than getting swept, is getting up 2-0 and then just losing 4 straight. I don't know what I would.
That's like the worst way, the worst gentleman's sweep. Just going up 2 games and then you took 4 nights off.
It's almost like a little more disrespectful than a gentleman's sweep. I don't.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Both teams came out firing in this game 6. 3-2 Edmonton's advantage at the end of the first. And then, another 3 goals, 2 for the Oilers, 1 for the Kings. And the second, then 2 goals there at the end. Yeah, Kings just weren't able to climb out of the hole on this one.
Oilers is just a veteran team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like David gets to just kind of chill and only add 1 assist. Nugent Hopkins getting in there. Connor Brown, Adam Heinrich, Federic, man. It was a real good game just from all those guys. Calvin Pickard, great. Just did a great job on the goalkeeping. Both the goalies are pretty solid in this one, just with how much firepower I think both of these teams can bring offensively to the ice. That's just demons for the Kings, man. I just can't imagine
that's horrible.
I might have the years wrong, but 3-4 years in a row where one team's ended your season.
You got Knights Oilers second round. Edmonton already leads the series 4-2.
So they stole game 1 on the road. 4-2, yeah.
That'll be a good series right there. But similar to the NBA, over on the East, the series closed up pretty convincingly in the first round for these teams. Washington, Carolina, and Florida Panthers all getting a gentleman's sweep in the first round. Maple Leafs only team getting brought to 6 games against the Senators.
Right. Senators thought for a moment there that they might do something a little scary, but they had a kind of a meltdown.
Yeah, Game 6 meltdown here.
Game 6.
Where they just kind of played super, super slow. Felt like it was just sloppy.
They got it tied back up, and you're like, okay, you feel like something building here, and then just complete collapse defensively. Gave up some too easy. 2 goals that I felt were too easy when you're in an elimination game. And the Leafs survive. Had a little bit of a scare there, but they're moving on to the second round. And we got to look at some of these second round matchups. 3 game ones to go, and our very last game 1 tonight at 7:30 on ESPN. Should be the Avs, man. Should be the Avs.
It should be.
Stars and the Jets. Let's go Jets. Edmonton got their first victory of round 1 on the road against the Golden Knights. We'll take a deeper look at what went down here in game 1. And the power play opportunities. Edmonton 0 for 2 and still with a double them up on their goals. So Vegas was 1 for 3. Neither team taking very good advantage of that right there. Edmonton was just clearing them on the face-off wins, though. 33-19. Looks like my camera's going up, but I'm still here on the audio.
Oh, yep, you're frozen. Oh, jeez.
We'll keep rolling. Be nice if we had a sound guy here.
It's all right. It's all right.
No, it's just
show must go on.
He's a busy guy. All right, he's a busy guy. A lot of people are out trying to get his attention. Yeah, Edmonton I like another team, man. They're deep. I just like the depth they got here. 4 different guys scoring all these goals. Draisaitl, him and McDavid are on. That's a scary combo. 2 assists out of McDavid. Connor Brown getting set up here with 1. Evander Kane also adding an assist here. Corey Perry got the goal. Zach Hyman got a goal. And they really kept the puck away from Calvin Pickard, man. He only 17 shot attempts, 15 saves for him tonight. They didn't really make him work too hard, though.
It was smart, bro. It's the way to do it, honestly. It's the way to do it.
Yes. I thought they seem to be kind of frustrating Jack Eichel a bit in this one. At least what I feel. They were taking a lot of opportunities away from him. Mark Stone stepped up in a big way. 2 goals. The only 2 goals in this one here. Yeah, Vegas. Kind of feel bad about dropping one here at home. Looking like Edmonton, I'd say probably in 6 here. Edmonton 6. Knights are a really good team, but losing this one here on the road, that really drops their chances of being able to take this series a lot for me. Losing home ice advantage. I don't like that for them, just with how good these Oilers are. You can't be giving away home games like that.
That's not when you want to lose for Vegas. Playing a veteran team like this, you got to take what you can get. They're the higher seed. They have the advantage at home. They need to win this game too. Tomorrow night, they need it.
Need it bad. All right. Well, we got another game tonight. Game 2 of the Maple Leafs and the Panthers. Toronto coming away with victory. Game 1. This was a super close game, though. And I honestly, on the Panthers, I don't even feel too bad about this. They're going to be, I still like them in this series more. Got some goals out of their defensemen. I thought it was kind of a quiet night for, guys like Reinhart. Tkachuk did have an assist in this one, but not his biggest game. Sam Bennett getting the goal for you, but so one of your big 3 out there doing some work there. Verhagen with the 2 assists as well. Brad Marchand with 2 assists.
The real thing is William Nylander got a goal 33 seconds into this game for the Maple Leafs, and 30 shots. They're bringing some extreme pace to this game. Seems like they just want to play extremely fast with the 5 power play opportunities. I got no power play goals, but had 5 opportunities. So, they're getting their chances that they need. If they keep playing at this pace, though, they might be able to sneak one on the Panthers and get a huge series.
Right. Panthers also didn't win a lot of faceoffs. That's where I feel you can feel pretty confident as your floor that you didn't really play very well, but you turned it on there in the 4th and made it
it's little things. Little things they needed to get it back.
Right. And I think they'll tighten that up, and especially as they come back to home ice. You got to remember, this is the defending champions from last year.
Team to sleep on at all.
Got Nylander, bro. This guy was just what's the NHL term for hooping? He was hockey heads, you have to let me know what that is.
Yeah, Kyle, drop that in the comments.
What do you call it? Skating, bro. He was out there skating.
Let's just say that for now. I like that.
That's all I got. Yeah, no, he was the big difference for Toronto. Really powering the way on this victory. Got some defenseman goals out of Riley, Tanavev, and then Matthew Knies also adding the goal for him as well. I'd see this game or this series going to 7, though. These two teams seem like they're very well matched up. They've got great attackers on offense on both sides, really solid defensemen on both ends, and then I like both of these goalies. Both of these goalies are really good. Although they went away from Joseph Wall there late in the game, which I thought was a little interesting. Went over to Stolalar, so we'll see how that affects Wall and his confidence pulling him in game 1. Panthers, they stuck with Bobrovsky the whole way. I thought Sergei was really solid. Obviously, he gave up 5 goals, but he had a lot of action coming his way from this Maple Leafs team. Well, then that just leaves us with our final little game 2 here, going down tomorrow. The NHL Stanley Cup, Capitals, Hurricanes. The Canes actually
took game 1, and if you look at the stats, dude, it looks like the Capitals came out half asleep. 14 shots in game 1.
Now, where was that great offense that they had all year? Nobody capitalized on the power play, and this one, and yeah, they just Carolina, big win on the road for them. Just did everything a lot better than the Capitals did.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're Washington, the one thing that maybe one positive you can take away from this is that you played pretty poorly and only lost by 1 point in overtime. But I like the confidence that this could instill in Carolina.
Yeah, this could send them on a run, dude. The Canes.
Easy night to be a goalie when you only got to deal with 14 shots the whole night. Again, just like half asleep thing. Like where's the offense? Where's the pressure on the goal? It just wasn't there. Yeah, Ovechkin didn't really look himself either.
And they lost a whole lot of face-offs.
Yeah.
And had 6 penalty minutes. Doesn't sound like a lot, but like for the playoffs in hockey, we've seen a lot of games where people are getting like 2 penalty minutes throughout like 6 games in a row. So, I mean, having that many, that might put a big dividend in this series too.
Let's drop our round 2 predictions, Caveman. We'll start on this one here. Capitals, Canes. Who you like in this one? How many games?
I'm going Canes in 7.
Canes in 7. Okay.
I'm going to go with a little sneaky pick.
I'm going to say Capitals, but I'm going to say they have to get it done in 7. I think not getting game 1 is going to force them to go to game 7 here.
That's going to bring a lot of momentum.
Yeah. Toronto and Florida. Maple Leafs, Panthers. Who we like here?
This one, I want to go with the upset on it, but I'm going to go Panthers in 6.
Read my mind. That's where I'm at on this. Good game 1 win for the Leafs. Panthers, I'm just not ready to count the defending champs out yet. I think
not quite yet.
Not yet. They look really good. We're gonna say Panthers in 6. Edmonton and Vegas. Who do we like here?
Honestly, man, I might go Oilers with a gentleman's sweep here in 5.
Oilers in 5. Okay. I'm going to even hit you to be more disrespectful. I'm saying Oilers in 4.
Oh,
sweep, bro.
They're going to clean sweep them out of here. The 1 seed. Get them out.
That's my bold prediction for round 2.
No, I like that.
And then our last game here, Jets and Stars, both, aerial based objects of some sort. I'm going to go with Dallas here. Like, I honestly thought that was such a good matchup between the Avs and the Stars that whoever came out of that is going to represent the West and the Cup. And so I'm going Dallas. Give me Dallas in 6.
I want to go for the Jets here too, man. I'll go with Dallas in 6. they're on a heater right now. If Winnipeg lets a bunch of games slip, we'll see. HG, it looks like that's our time, man. So
we've come to the end of our stream. Gotta get off the air by 10 o'clock. So we're gonna sign off. Thank you so much for watching. I'm still a little frozen on here, but I'm moving around. I'm animated. Don't you worry about that. HG, Caveman, on the remote today. We'll be back next week till the final whistle on MBR. Thank you, and have a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us, giving our veterans a voice.